Welcome to Nintendo Ninja News and happy birthday to the YouTube channel and to Nintendo Ninja News in general. We've hit 2 years now. We know we're a day late, but I have been busy trying to get back into the schedule of things, and I have been taking, I wouldn't say a vacation break the last few months, but I think since the Switch launch and from last year has been very busy for me. I felt like I needed to take a little bit of time off to experiment with different ideas for the channel and what I can do to take it to the next stage of things. So for our little birthday video, I thought that I would tell you some of my thoughts about the year and all that sort of stuff. And it's been a really big year, I think, compared to the first year. Because the first year was mainly all about setting up the channel and the different things like Nintendo Historia and the NNN show and all that sort of stuff too. And that was sort of the building up of stuff through until March of 2016, and then from then onwards we went on to do more news videos. Pokemon's 20th anniversary was huge for us. The Rio Olympics video got over 20,000 views, which is historical for me, or in terms of video views or anything like that. And we went to the GammaCon convention, we went to the EB Games convention. That was a really big experience for us. And it was a very, very interesting thing for us to sort of experience going out and to see people and all that sort of stuff. And it was pretty difficult, but we came back with a couple, movies, that were an hour and a half long for each one. So so I believe that I did a pretty good job with them, trying to really give you the feeling that you were at the convention yourself, seeing things and playing games and stuff like that. And that was a great challenge in terms of that. And then towards the end of the year, we did Pokemon Sun and Moon, which was pretty good. We've got the little boxes up there. And we also did the Christmas stuff, the end of year stuff, and we did the Facebook fan page, which has nearly 800 likes, and we've got our Twitter account, which has got a little over 100. It's a bit hard to promote stuff like that, and of course the announcement of the Nintendo NX, which is now called the Switch, and then the Switch launched just a couple weeks ago. So bing! And of course, I'm going to be using every opportunity to show off my Switch, because I'm still in the honeymoon phase of just loving the shit out of it. So overall, I think the year has been really busy, but I think it was also a bit taxing on me mentally, in terms of trying to, there was a news article about Nintendo. I would jump up and go to the video, and sometimes it was in the middle of the night. Sometimes it was 3 or 4 a.m. for me. And I think after Christmas, and I looked at the result of getting nearly 100,000 views, because honestly, I thought that it would take me about 4 years to get there, and it took me 1 year. So I was really surprised at that. And the first 3 months of 2017, we've gotten something like, 18 to 20,000 views. And that's not too bad, but it does suggest that I may not quite get 100,000 views for this year. And I think it's because it was a perfect storm of, Switch rumors, Pokemon's 20th anniversary, special bundles of the 2DS, Pokemon Sun and Moon, and for some reason this channel has a lot of Pokemon fans. So that was a big thing. We did a couple reviews. We did a few reviews of accessories and things like that, which was really big. And that took off well, and I believe that I did a pretty good job of things, And I'm happy for what's been achieved, and we've gathered some very cool people on the channel. But for me, I think after that, I sort of said to myself, I really don't need to provide the news as quickly as I was last year, because I think it was really it was starting to burn me out, and I didn't want to get to a point where I was just like, I can't keep on doing this YouTube channel anymore, because it's just, if it stops being fun, you put down the controller. And that's my simple model when it comes to video games. If a game stops being fun, stop playing it. Stop complaining about it and go do something else, or play another game or something like that. And for me, I think the second year has been really, really cool. And who knows what this next 12 months is going to be like. I hope it's going to be fun, and I hope people will keep enjoying Nintendo Ninja News and things like that. And we are in a pretty, sorry about that, a bit of a lean spot in terms of views and sort of activity. It just feels like we're sort of in a rough spot in terms of, trying to find content that people are interested in, and, why are people not quite watching the news as often? Maybe because we're reporting on things that are late and all that sort of stuff, and the Switch unboxing didn't do well because everyone else had a Nintendo Switch before the official launch, and they did their unboxings, and we were pretty late to the party, even if we literally uploaded that video an hour and a half after the Australian launch, which is virtually one of the very first countries to get the Switch publicly. After probably New Zealand, I guess, is one of the very first nations to get it, and Japan, which is around the same time as us, in the time zone on the globe. So, apart from that, I think, that feeling of burning out and that sort of stuff, I think looking back, the past 12 months has been really, really cool. And if you look at our first birthday video, the desk was turned around, we were at, my back was to the wall, and you saw the Amiibo packages, which was not too bad, it was nice. But I think when we changed to this, I think a lot of people really liked it, and quite enjoyed the idea of doing the, seeing all the packages in the background and all that sort of stuff. I think that was something that people enjoyed, and I enjoyed. And I like mucking around with all those things. I think it's very, very cool to sort of play around with it, because normally most people's gaming collection is just showing off their games, and it looks impressive and nice. But this is more of an interactive, bookshelves where you go, oh, there's plushies to play with, and amiibos and little packages that look cool, and consoles to pick up and slot in a game to play. So I've sort of worked hard over the last couple of years, and budget wise it's been really hard. We probably spent, well, the amiibos themselves are probably $800, and with all the other things we've spent, I say it's about $3,000 plus. And we're not on a Patreon or anything like that, and I have hummed and hawed about doing a Patreon account for a long time, because I don't know if I should do it, because I don't think I could really offer a reward system that would be sufficient for people for the price that they would pay. They pay $30 a month. I'm not too sure what I can provide that would be $30 of value, and that makes it difficult to sort of convince myself to do the idea or not. So that's something that, is still in the back of my head thinking about. But, this sort of birthday thing, I've been really happy about, and I'm going to start doing more videos again and continue to keep doing this sort of stuff. And I've been doing live video, and it started off really well. We're getting more views than on YouTube. And it sort of died off a bit. And I think now that the Switch is out, everyone's playing it, and live video is very hard to do. And and I hope. So really, I'm just sticking to the YouTube channel to promote that, and my own personal website, christysis.me. So I'm hoping that just those two websites do well, and people enjoy the stuff and all that sort of content and all that sort of thing. For me, highlights, I'm going to have a drink because I'm dying here. I think the highlights was, apart from the Switch launch, that was great. I think going to the conventions was cool. I think EB Games Expo was the most challenging of all. Because I actually suffered from physical exhaustion for 2-3 days after the expo. Because I did an hour and a half of videotape recording. And that was pretty rough on me. I would have a 9 or 10 hour sleep when I came back home from Sydney. And I was still feeling very, very tired. So that was something that I said to myself, I don't know if I can do another movie again. But, knowing me, I would probably, in October when it goes up again, I'll be like, oh, let's do another movie. It's on the Gold Coast this time. We can do this. But I'm still thinking about what the theme of the movie will be when it comes to doing the expo. And I have a pretty good idea. When it comes to that sort of thing. So stay tuned for that when that time comes, when we're getting closer to conventions. I think the lowlights of Nintendo Ninja News the past year was probably when times where views were a bit low. I think the Switch unboxing was probably the most disappointing thing in terms of no one watched it. And I think other lowlights was trying to get people to help promote the channel, and some people just didn't. It's really hard to do everything by yourself, and the funding too. It's hard trying to buy all this stuff and show it off, and it's all nice and pretty, and you really, really suffer for it. And even trying to afford the Switch when you're casual work. Well, it's casual, but I pretty much work part-time to full-time hours most of the time. Not all through the year. So that's hard to sort of orchestrate an expensive console, nearly $500 in Australia, and trying to get games and accessories so you can do little reviews of, and cross your fingers that someone actually watches it and enjoys it. So this is all the labour of love and all that sort of thing. So there's no birthday cake this year. I didn't think about getting a cupcake. But I've been very, very pleased with how things have gone. And I'm hoping that the rest of 2017 goes well. There's going to be some great games. There's going to be probably more awesome features coming to the Nintendo Switch. I'm sure people are still playing the Wii U. And I'm sure that the 3DS will have an interesting year in terms of game releases and this curiosity of, how long will the 3DS be around in terms of games and that. So it's definitely in its twilight area, but we'll see how it all unpans or unfolds. So it's going to be an interesting year. So that's it for me, and happy birthday, Nintendo Ninja News. And we're still around.